SGL, welcome on in. If you're wondering why you're not seeing any intro right now, that's because I have made a slate. So my apologies for that. We're going to kick off very, very soon. As you can see right here, we got a busy schedule for you all. We have 3 matches running right now. 2 of them will be on stream. EM versus ECRC as your main game. KC Cauldron versus Dallas Burn in picture-in-picture. And EC Eternal versus Los Verdes is being played out right now outside of the stream. And then after those matches, we will be going into Axe and Rose versus EC Defiance to finish off Friday night and kick off the weekend. Now, I am not alone. With me in the commentary booth is Debit, who's happily stepped up to help us out here. Debit, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing all right. I forgot I muted my mic for 1 sec, so my panic was not mentioned on stream, but you know, it's good to be here in the red zone, be a part of it, get to showcase everything. I don't really stream much of this stuff, so this is a good little intro into, you know, what we do behind the scenes.
Oh, speaking of behind the scenes, guys, see what we got in store for you right here. So, that on the right side in PIP, that is Debit setting that up. Yes, he has the KJ overlay set up. So you are going to get the full experience for that match as well, instead of a janky game overlay, whatever setup, right? It's going to be nice and clean. It's going to be super awesome as well for you all. We can't wait to get started. We're going to kick off right now, Debit.
Right now? Oh my gosh.
Yes, right now.
You know what? Might as well. It's time for me to send him, tell him to go in.
And get going. Let's go.
Let's see if I can do this thing right. Truly a scuff stream.
It is. It really is. Yef and Fatality. Good to see you. Long time no see, Yef, by the way. Hell yeah. Good to see you, bro.
Man, long time indeed. Good to see you in chat. Get to root on the boys. In KC as I have them over on my end. Maybe they could start out strong. They could at least hold their end right now. At least on the quick start, but you know, this EM Dallas Burn team has gone through a lot of changes in the past.
They absolutely have, and we are kicking off in the other game as well. Here we go. Sorry, I'm noticing a bit of an issue, so I'm just making sure this is all good.
Nope, no problem whatsoever.
There you go. We have to do it live.
Any problem whatsoever, there is nothing wrong. There's just
absolutely
nothing.
not.
Everything is designed as could be. It's all perfect. Nothing is wrong. Just watch the Rocket League. Let's have some fun.
You know what's perfect right now? Both teams are 0-0, and we are going to be done with the first minute. I didn't think both matches would start off KG in this manner, but this is great to see. It goes to show you that even the teams that are placed lower in the table in the Premier can give a test to the top sides, and we're seeing that with Emerald City RC. Toad Death is back to his goal-scoring form. Look at how he controls the ball. Beats Indestructible, and Skyline could do nothing about it. Toad gives ECRC the lead against Matador.
Man, you don't see flicks like that going in from that kind of distance out. What a powerful flick by Toad in a match where ECRC really need to get back on track. They have fallen far away in the standings, and they need this to, you know, jolt their season a bit.
And we can kind of say that about El Matador as well. After having a rough start themselves, they've started to climb up the table, putting themselves possibly in contention for the league title, and they're doing well in the SGL Premier Cup as well. So for them to slip up against ECRC will be absolutely damaging. They got to step up. They got to make sure they get this win so that they can keep up to pace with Timber's Army and Frontera Chrome.
Yeah, you got to keep pace with these top teams, but you also got to keep pace with that pass that got thrown into the middle. EMDB not able to defend that one. Smitty with a top sniped shelf over in the KC versus the EMDB game, if you saw it over on the side.
Chat, let us know how everything's working, if the audio is good, if you can see the picture-in-picture game as well. If you want to see the picture-in-picture game, I can switch it so that we get that as the main view. Just give me the word. but both of these games are absolutely close right now. One interesting thing is the blue team is dominating in both games against their Dallas counterparts. EM Dallas Bird on the back foot, El Matador as well, but El Matador might be able to get an opportunity shot on net. Good save from Spanky, who is starting with Toad and Gojo. Utopia on the bench, and Utopia in chat as well. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, both these Dallas teams not off to a good start. Getting a lot of outplays right now. Maybe Fatality can put one on the board. Oh, he puts it a bit too high. Maybe the other Dallas side can get things going, but, you know, they gotta defend. They gotta work their magic against this ECRC side. It is looking, you know, very comfortable within their first game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, one thing I've noticed, Devin, is we're not hearing any audio from your stream. So if you're hearing audio, it is only from ECRC versus El Matador. So I just want to make sure everyone's aware of that.
Gotcha. Good to know. Totally planned.
But one thing I'd like to say is both blue teams, Cauldron and ECRC, are going with their strongest possible trio here. And then, you know, you see El Matador bringing that out as well. EM Dallas Bird, though, going without Caesar. Pico, David, Wicca, and Anomaly. You don't get to see that trio every time. Caesar has been ever present at EM Dallas Bird throughout the season. This is the first time they're playing a game one without him. Are you surprised by that?
Sometimes you can argue that, you know, it's surprising to see, but I've also seen this team rotate a lot. You know, they like to get Pico David his reps if he's around. I know it's not the, you know, the most standard thing to see him out, especially with Pico David on the field, but, you know, I think it's just a testament that, you know, this team really just loves to, you know, send out whoever on any given time period. It doesn't really matter, I guess, strength. But I think they're just going to try to make the most out of this game. And honestly, well, never mind. Commentary, I guess, thought curse says you may have thought they were going to be able to defend, but this play from Kansas City just ends up taking over as Smitty places that one top corner.
And what a placement that is. KC Cauldron looking slick, looking like they're back to their best. Last week they showed a bunch of good performances against, I'm trying to remember who they played. Timber's Army, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, in the cup.
And they looked pretty good, not gonna lie. Or no, was it? Yeah, it was Timber's Army, yeah. They did look pretty good. So to see them look this good against this kind of EM Dallas Bird team is no surprise. What I'm surprised by is they only scored 2. If you're a team with Pico David and you only conceded 2 against this KC Cauldron team, I would be kind of satisfied, not gonna lie. I'll be like, okay, there's something to build off of right now.
You know, maybe it's just the Pico David, you know, level up. Especially for a team this strong in Cauldron, which we have not seen a lot in recent times. Maybe it's just like, you know, let's get back to speed with it. Yeah, we haven't played in a bit. Let's use this as an opportunity to, you know, build up that chemistry again.
And speaking of getting back up to speed, ECRC take the lead. Toad wins the potential game winner with 5 seconds remaining. And Gojo puts the dagger on El Matador's backs. Game 1 goes to Emerald City RC.
Man, you just thought that EM had a sliver of hope. They needed the kickoff to go their way, but that was not the case. ECRC playing really well, and even just, as you mentioned, put the dagger in that game. That'll be it for that game 1. They go up 1-0. The blue team on the other side's going up 1-0. It's time to look at a lot of stats on your screen.
Yeah, one thing we got to talk about is Pico David. 8 points? 8? Bro, I know it's Cauldron, but 8 points?
Yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy, yeah. Also, forgive me, the map is not switched.
It's okay. We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. Everything is good. It's all right. It's the redemption tour. Somebody's got to put up a hand. Pico David, you got to do it for game number 2 because we cannot be in the single digits. Time to get more than that against this KC side, who is poised to take this in 3 at the current rate. But EM Dallas Burn You know, Wicca's got something to say about that. It may take a little bit of a defensive stand for KC, but they're able to at least deliver the ball out for now, and it's literally scored on the counterattack.
Fatality having the easiest time right there. A free hit to the backboard, and then a free shot into an empty net. Anomaly trying to get back and recover, but to no avail. And as we kick off, after the KC Cauldron goal, we are also kicking off Game 2 in Sovereign Heights between ECRC, who won a massive Game 1 against this good El Matador team. An El Matador team that, by the way, has brought in their new recruit, Huey, who they brought in from EM Dallas Burn last week.
Yeah, the EM Dallas Burn legend, the 7th round pick himself, Huey, made the mid-season switch over to EM. Maybe give themselves a little bit of a push as they're used to seeing 4. But as you see on your screen, Smitty has made this 2-0 here for the Cauldron off of this air dribble and hitting it onto the ceiling.
Yeah, this is getting out of EM Dallas Burn's control right now. They are badly missing Caesar. Who knows where he might be, but what's for certain is he's not in the lobby right now. So those three, Pico David, Anomaly, and Wicca, have it all to do.
Yep, they got a lot of work on their hands right now. They have to put up so many hands. They have to cut so many things off mid, maybe get a little bit of controlled touches out. Force a bad 50, that's how you tend to play whenever you're, I guess, down in some skill every now and then. You just try to force your opponent to make one bad touch or get a good little 50 on them, and next thing you know, maybe you got a chance going your way.
And that's what you got to do. You just got to keep pushing, keep working, just keep playing your game. And something might fall onto your lap. You just got to keep it going, though. And Utopia, thank you for letting me know. I knew I forgot something. I forgot to update the stream title. So everyone's still seeing Lasica Dose versus Frontera Chrome, which, you know, was a banger of a match, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to go and watch back that one because that was the deceiving match scoreline, but you got to watch it back for, you know, the content that actually happened. And oh my gosh, I thought that was going to be a pass goal there for EMDB. Unfortunately, Wicca cannot get a touch on that one. KC are able to escape for the time being. As you see on your screen, El Matador have got themselves a goal off through a little pop, and then we get to see a goal pop in just from midfield. The net is empty.
You don't get to see that all the time from ECRC as well, leaving their net open like that for a long shot from the midfield. And El Matador take advantage of that as well. Huey getting his first goal for El Matador, coming back to the team he was a big player for in Season 9. Might he push El Matador into a title chase?
And potentially, I mean, we've seen other players go back to the teams where they just, you know, built that foundation. I am speaking from experience on this one as, you know, my team has just reacquired Albert Dequa onto the side, who has had pretty impressive campaigns in Rhode Island, but nothing like that 2023 campaign with us, so maybe a little bit of life can be gained for that. Same could be applied for Huey. And it looks like it's working out well until ECRC get that next goal through Toad on a little bit of a slot shot.
And that's Toad's third in 2 games. Toad, the sharpshooter, is back. We were waiting for that to come out of Toad Death. He's finally popping off again. And what better team to do that as well than El Matador?
Living up in net right now. We're waiting for one person to touch the ball in KC, and it turns out to be Serrano who gets the last touch. I thought it was going to be fatality off of this one. And nope, we got demoed. Smitty goes for the flip. Nope. Serrano, you get the tap in. That'll make it 3 over here.
That's surely game set for KC Cauldron, right? That's game 2 in the bag for them, no?
It surely has to be. You think with like a minute and a half, the way they've controlled this game, it just has to be.
By the way, what's interesting to see is ECRC has gotten their confidence back despite facing a stronger El Matador trio right now. El Matador have tried so much to get those 50s and get those, get themselves in the way of ECRC, but still the team in blue, the Seattle boys, bring themselves forward. Shot on net, off target from Toad, and a counterattack now going the other way. Luis setting it up for Huey. What a goal! El Matador from back to front, and El Matador take the lead with 1 minute 14 seconds to go.
Man, we just saw an impressive downfield approach from ECRC. Toe shot a little bit too high. Next thing you know, that's one of the quickest counterattacks I've seen, and early contender for goal of the week from El Matador. That passing play and then back to Huey, chef's kiss.
I can tell you, Huey's having a lot more fun playing Rocket League right now. Unfortunately for the EMDB boys, he wasn't having as much fun playing with them. He's thriving right now with this El Matador team, pairing himself with Luis and Gnostics, aka Indestructible, who now goes up, goes for the air dribble. Gojo read that. Gojo intercepted. Cannot get the second touch, but he fakes Huey out. Open net! And he somehow gets it off target. He had enough boost to put it in. How does he miss that?
Oh man, you need those in that situation. You're close to 30 seconds left. You need to tie this game up and maybe force an issue right now. You can't give El Matador too much time on the clock to, start killing, because they're going to be really good at least getting the 50s. They'll send one person, but it's just a distraction. They're going to kill more time off the clock. You're going to need that quality to step up. Just as we're seeing right now, what a little pass to Gojo. Gets it done. We're back square.
And that is what ECRC needed, a pass into the middle to draw out El Matador and get that net open. Indestructible in no man's land. Huey too far back to react on time. Gojo gets the sharp finish. 2-2 with 10 seconds remaining. Might we see a good winner? El Matador's going for it, but great defending from Spanky to waste all that time and only restrict El Matador to one more chance.
My gosh, here, OT, game number 2. The series much more anticipated at this moment. Who's going to be the deliverer of the package here? Looks like ECRC want to make it for themselves. They get a good 50 out to start, but EM, they're going to want to control the pace of play here as well. They've been known to play good against this ECRC side. They have a thorn in them. They just have a little program that runs ECRC.exe and then somehow things work out. But you gotta wonder and see what adjustments they'll make in the meantime as we see them come back here in this game alone. They gotta carry it in. They cannot afford to go down. Oh man, you thought it might have been, but saved off the line at the last second.
Here we go! Oh my God! How did that not go in, Devin? Oh, what a whip from Luis, and it's one-on-one. Go do it full boost. Huey with not much in the tank. What a save from Huey. He pulls the rabbit out of the hat and prevents EM from taking a Game 2 loss. This overtime is still going.
Gosh, you thought that one was going to be in. Excellent defending here from Huey. They got one more to go for. It's a good little tap. We'll see if it ends up causing a little bit. Oh, what a bump. Huge 50 out too. It's just a one-on-one right now. We'll see if it's gonna work out to anything, but nothing at this time. Maybe EM can get a shot out. Oh, they can at least defend it away from ECRC for the time being. Oh, that's a whiff.
Oh, Spankiest boost. Oh, but look at Huey. Oh my goodness. Have you seen him play like that this season? He is pulling out all the stops. What a performance from Huey in this game too.
This is a player who knew he was going to the transfer portal immediately. He saw the light at the end of the tunnel. He was ready to go for this EM side at the moment, and he is showing it off so well. Not just his offense, but his defense especially.
And we can say the same about Spanky as well. A huge rock at the back, and also doing a great job going forward. Matter of fact, both teams are just doing so well defensively in this overtime right now. Getting the right touches, making sure they don't give the ball away to the opposition, bringing it forward and forcing the opposition to backtrack and get pinned back. And whilst we talk about this overtime, how about EM Dallas Burn taking the lead? Anomaly with the first goal for the Dallas boys.
You look away for a second, you can literally forget that they scored on that net. Because it was quite literally off the kickoff, and they get the next one. Pico David has scored. Alert! Alert!
No! Lifts! Bumps! Somebody hit the ball! Pico David open net! I cannot believe Casey Cauldron conceded that against him of all people. Argless made fun of him for only getting 8 points in game 1, but now Pico David gets the goal against Casey Cauldron.
My goodness, and they go up 2 on KC Cauldron right now too. I know they have made a sub with Bunch coming in, And look
Oh my
at this,
God.
they've gone up 3 off of a pass to Wicca in mid.
Oh my God, while that happened, Spanky had an open net by a great pass from Gojo, and he couldn't get it in, and now he's back defending. I thought that was game 2 for ECRC, but this overtime is still going on.
Yeah,
God,
these
what a
teams do
freaking
not want to
night.
be the one that, you know, gives up that goal. It's not even playing, like, too defensively either. They're just playing defensively enough to, you know, get the touches necessary. Oh my gosh, I thought that one had a chance to go in. Unfortunately, Toad gets demoed.
Oh, what a
Shot
shot.
back. Could that be it? Oh my gosh, it's still out. It's
What
not
a
in.
save! And that was indestructible! Not6 pulling up the rabbit this time! Insane defending from El Matador as we see KC Cauldron get one back. Smitty getting the goal for the Sporting KC boys.
Yeah, one that you need back if you're KC. You're probably looking at those goals saying, nah, those are flukes. We need to get back to it right now. We can't let this thing go to more than 3 games right now. We're good to close it out.
And the overtime in game 2 is still going.
Oh!
It's the winner after 4 minutes and 12 seconds. El Matador are back. They have tied the series at 1 apiece.
Man, you thought he was going to just shoot for the open net, but gets the pass off the backboard. Excellently delivered to Luis, who has the hard shot into the net. El Matador take game number 2, and we have a dead series over there. Man, what an overtime. That lasted nearly a full game.
God, that was absolute cinema. I mean it. Absolute cinema. What an overtime. Insane saves, big whiffs, great defending, great solo play, great team play. It had it all. It involved ECRC as well, by the way. ECRC, whenever they play like top teams, they really showcase the best that they have to offer. It's a shame they couldn't get this game 2 win because their performance deserved it. But likewise for El Matador, they stepped up big. And what a game. What a game 2. Oh my God.
Yeah, absolutely needed, as we're seeing over in this game number 3. KC are trying to shut this one out. EM Dallas Burn just trying to stay alive. Well, they've only conceded 1 so far. So, you know, it's still looking up. They're draining some time. And now it's just like, how can we kill the rest of this without, you know, giving up a goal?
That's right. As we go into game 3 very soon, both teams are going in and we are kicking off immediately. No time to waste, no time to wait. Here we go. Lawler counts us down. 1 apiece. It is a best of 3 now. Who will be on match point? Toe death, booming it away after Luis dribbled it to the midfield. Huey, oh, that's an unfortunate miss. Gojo has to bail out, let it go to Luis. Spanky coming up with a good 50, but Luis beats him right there. Toad getting 2 big touches to pop the ball up and allow Gojo to take over, but he gives it to Huey, who puts it into the middle. No one is there for El Matador to get back. Luis has to take the more conservative approach, and it helps out because El Matador keep control of this game 3.
Yep, they had to take control. I thought Huey was going to get that deliverance, but we did get deliverance to Anom, who got the 4th goal here for EM Dallas Burn. Something I did not foresee happening. They end up getting another one and have a 3-goal lead against Cauldron, as we now see on our screen as ECRC have gotten their first here against EM.
And what a start that is for ECRC as well. Great pass yet again. Toad to Spanky. Huey overcommitted. Caught on the spot at no man's land. Couldn't get up quickly enough, and ECRC get the first goal. Might they get a second right now? Gojo all on his own. Huey, though, gets it out, but barely.
Yeah, just barely. You see on your main screen as we flip back over, KC has gotten another. You know, maybe there is enough time to pull this one back. If they can at least get it to overtime, it chances favor KC here in this one. Also want to shout out Skyline for the 5 gifted in chat. Holy moly.
Oh my God, he done it and
He
he's
gifted a
done it
6th
again.
one.
And meanwhile, with all of that commotion happening, Spanky is now on a hat trick. He gets his second with a proper bounce finish. Gojo this time getting the assist. Spanky, the goal scorer, is here now. And he has propelled ECRC to a 2-goal lead in this critical Game 3. El Matador, failing to capitalize on the momentum they gained in Game 2, are off to a slow start and need to catch up.
Yeah, maybe that overtime in Game 2 drained them a little bit. Maybe just gotta, re-grease the wheels, see what's going on. But they're at least able to pull one back. Indestructible has, got one back through a nifty little shot. Nothing too powerful, but enough to at least get over Toad Death in the other part of the defense.
Now, one thing I want to mention about the other game real quick. You might have seen his name. We haven't really mentioned him at all. Funch did come in for Serrano, which is why Serrano was chatting during that Game 3. What I'm surprised about is, with Funch coming in for Serrano, somehow EM Dallas Burn had this good of a performance. Pico David pulling out 276 points, 1 goal, 1 assist, and 1 save. Incredible game from him, by the way. Probably his best performance ever in SGL.
Yes, for certain, and they're going to need all the stops right now. Because, if you give a little bit of life to this Dallas Burn team, you never know what they could pull out. They're full of surprises, especially with KC running 4 strong. I mean, they do have their strongest lineup yet to go, and so it's only a matter of time before we probably see, the full team back in here within this game number 4.
One thing I want to highlight as well about the EM Dallas Burn, they have yet to get swept this season. And they are keeping that streak going, by the way. An incredible job by them. Despite only winning 1 match, they have yet to get swept. And that is incredible to see, as we see an incredibly even Game 3 right now, but it's still 2-1 to ECRC. Can El Matador get themselves back in? They have 2 minutes left. They have all the time, but ECRC are looking very confident at the back.
Yeah, they're looking really confident, but as you mentioned, a lot of time to score a goal, and they get that second here through Indestructible, who lays that down, puts it into the bottom, and just gets the slightest of touches down to that one, off the post and in.
He barely kissed that ball too. You just saw a slight touch on it to put it down at the bottom corner. The perfect placement with Spanky up there as well. And we see Indestructible and Spanky both on 2 goals, both on a hat trick. It is tied at 2-2. Might we see the third? Cauldron comes in to get the third with another Toad Death assist. Look at that improvisation right there to get to the ball. Huey not ready for it, leaves an open net, and his over-committing once again puts El Matador on the back foot.
Yeah, it's a little bit used to like the old ECRC we're used to seeing. A lot of the passing plays coming out, being first to the ball, you got to be quicker than that if you want to defend against it. And, that tie was short-lived. They at least got a minute and a half to kill this El Matador team that is definitely not going to give up. So you got to keep it going. Over in the other series, 2 games have been scored already here in this game number 4, 30 seconds in. And I'd like to announce that Caesar has actually made his presence known, but in game number 4.
I don't know if that was an intended approach from Caesar to sit out and wait, but after that Game 3 win, I guess he could come in and potentially set up for a reverse sweep, because this EM Dallas Burn side is coming to play, and they don't want to go down without a fight. And speaking of not going down without a fight, ECRC is doing the same. El Matador keeping themselves into it as well. As we enter the final 30 seconds of Game 3, in ECRC versus El Matador, it is 3-2 to Emerald City RC, but EM are still at it.
Yeah, they're getting the good 50s right now. The EM just can't get the carries out. They're still getting pressured. The shot's on, and Gojo gets the 4th. What a critical 2-goal lead here for ECRC.
Oh, that is absolutely huge. Another great pass from Toad. We have seen him come up with the goals for Emerald City RC throughout his time in SGL, but this time he is the playmaker, creating goals for his teammates. And now Gojo is on a hat trick as well, and this 2-goal lead is massive as we go into Game 4, unless El Matador come back.
Yeah, something's got to happen right here, right now. With 7 seconds left, we need something to fall in. That defense is not letting anything go. Like a brick wall out here. They are going to take game number 3, take the series lead 2-1 going into game number 4. Absolutely critical game for them to take. putting El Matador on the back, or on the, back of the series, back down to their series life. I forget all the phrases right now.
Oh, you're
My
good.
brain's
You're
gone.
good. There's a lot going on, Debit. You're fine. Speaking of 2-1.
How did the Zoomers do this?
Sorry?
How did the Zoomers do this? This is too much.
Good question. Hey, you know what? You need something to keep you wired. So I got my cup of tea. I have my caffeine in me. I'm wired up and ready to go right now. I don't know about you, Debit.
Maybe alcohol was not the best choice.
Oh, no.
Don't got my uppers. But you know what? Maybe a fatality goal can help bring that in, because that's the tying goal here for KC Cauldron. Down 2-1 off of a pass in the corner from Serrano. They're back into this one with 2.5 to go.
And they needed that too. Caesar getting the lead for EM Dalsburn earlier. Caesar has been leading this side, and that's their strongest trio as well. But now Fatality bringing it back! And Fatality getting his second straight after kickoff. Cauldron take the lead against a Caesar-led EM Dalsburn.
Man, and you thought Wicca was going to get that touch defensively, whether it was against that trailing Smitty or at least just a touch to the corner, but nope, Fatality just kept going up as if it was his own and took care of business. That's 3-2, but before I could even get that sentence off, it's tied once again. The Talisman off of a 50 follows the own path of this one into the net. We are all square.
Caesar 3, KC Cauldron 3. Who knows where EM Dalsburg could have been had Caesar been playing earlier, but he's here, and he has made his presence felt. And EM Dalsburg need to defend because Fatality is back. He gets his hat trick this time, and he gives KC Cauldron the lead once again straight after kickoff.
And we have no time to enjoy anything, but goodness, what a play from Fatality. Getting the ball up to the ceiling, drop it down, get the little pop-up into the corner. That is just brilliant from Fatality. Taking the lead back after that such climactic goal. Oh my gosh, I thought Anam was about to tie it up again. I really thought so. Unfortunately, that one was off target. Now KC get a chance to go back again. It's off the corner, going for the bump, doesn't get one. Maybe a third's gonna pop in. Maybe they're just gonna play the 50. Ends up getting the low shot. Not gonna work out, but now it's a 3v1. That's a good 50 from Caesar. It's open, but nobody's there on the other end, and it goes to the corner.
And speaking of open, Gojo takes the lead for Emerald City RC in this game 4. They're on match point, and that is exactly what they needed. El Matador are once again on the back foot. They keep trying to get to the ball, they keep trying to commit, but there's no one at the back to protect the net in those moments. And ECRC take advantage of that. They lead 1-0.
Yeah, you need to take advantage of everything. This El Matador team, you can just not let them hang around. They're going to be pesty. They're going to be tough to defend. They're going to be tough to, offend. You got to just shut them down whenever you can, and ECRC are using the playbook to their advantage.
Speaking of playbooks right here, El Matador need to get something out of their own playbook because ECRC is doing a valiant job defending against them, and they are controlling this game right now, even though EM are starting to create more and more chances. And they need a goal right now too. They have been stepping on each other's toes for quite a bit in games 3 and even in this game 4, but now their rotations have gone cleaner. They're starting to take charge. And speaking of taking charge, KC Cauldron have taken over a 5th, this time from Smitty, with 44 seconds remaining. Might that be game, set, and match for KC Cauldron?
Could potentially be, we're used to seeing EM Dalsburn get a little bit of a comeback, trying to intercept after getting scored on. But it seems like that 50 from Caesar was the best opportunity for somebody to put it away. But it just wasn't the chance to be. They need something right now because they're only down to 30 seconds. I've seen this team pull off some miracles before, but with time running out, it's just looking slimmer and slimmer.
Oh, they need a goal at this instant, but they're just struggling to create a chance. Anomaly trying to do it all on his own. Caesar getting beaten. Wicca bringing it into the midfield. Anomaly gets beat. The net is open. Smitty misses. Shot from Fatality. And Serrano both. What a save. But it is game, set, and match. KC Cauldron win against EM Dalsburn. And that's what they need to get back into the title. They need to string a series of wins, and they're starting to do that now.
Yep, this is the team we've been waiting for. That strongest three to pop back out here for this KC Cauldron side. They get them out. They get the result against the Burn, even against a strong Caesar, Anam, and Wicca lineup. Critical win for them. 3-1 dub. Perfect for their season. They get to keep it going. But now we got to switch our focus back to ECRC and El Matador, as we are in a Game 4 that could decide El Matador's ending to this one, going down 3-1, or can they make something of this? Luis is looking for a pass, but nobody's on the other end of it. This defense is going to carry the ball out, maybe potentially get an opportunity, but nothing going for them. Wait a second, the shot's up, it's off the backboard, but no follow-up. It's just going to be a 50.
And Luis for zero boost said, that's my ball. Toad recognized what was going on with Luis, takes the ball boost away from that. EMer once again on the back foot. If you caught what I caught as the KC Cauldron EM Dallas Burn was entering the final seconds, you may have noticed that EM had an insanely good goal scoring opportunity, basically an open net. Huey couldn't get it in at the end. And now EM are trying their hardest. They're trying to force this ball into the net to keep themselves in this Game 4, to potentially take us to Game 5. But ECRC are looking so good right now. They're so slick. There's no hope for this El Matador team as we enter the final 10 seconds.
And they need something right now, and there's one pop. We have a couple players with boost. They need to chase that one down, maybe get a 50. No, but Toad slams it down, giving ECRC that 3-1 victory. That shutdown moment that proves that maybe, just maybe, they can salvage this season.
We were waiting for this from Emerald City RC as well. They huffed and puffed. They tried everything they could. They were just struggling to get the results. This one against El Matador, who reinforced themselves with Huey, is huge for them. A 3-1 win at that as well. They needed this so badly, and what a freaking result for ECRC. KC Cauldron as well, needed to string a bunch of wins together. Big result for them too against an EM Dallas Bird that was testing them and causing them a few problems.
Yeah, whenever you play this El Matador team, you always got to look out for your players like Luis that can be game changers. But bringing in a player like Huey, that solid third player, whether it was Skyline or Huey made such an incredible performance today. But even then, ECRC struck that down. They were just like, all right, let's get used to this, shutdown defense that we're used to seeing, deliver our passing plays that we've kind of trademarked in this league, for themselves, even not having Smash on the field. But as long as you got Toad Death and Gojo out there, things will work out. And it did.
It really, really did. Gojo back to his best. Spanky looking so good. And Toad Death is back. It took so long for him to come back to his best, but he is finally here. And ECRC, if they keep playing like this, they'll absolutely be a force to be reckoned with. We've seen this from them in the past too, where they had kind of a slow start. I think this time around, though, they have really struggled in the first half of the season. But if they keep this going in the second half, they'll definitely be up for a strong finish in the league.
They could have been like, they had us in the first half, not gonna lie, and then just all of a sudden switch it up for the back half. That is the best outcome for them. And, it could be. This ECRC team is full of surprises, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh my god, what a game. What an absolutely great game right here. And an insane game from Cauldron EMDB as well, especially seeing Pico David get a goal. Oh my god. But we got to put that aside real quick because I saw a bunch of EC Eternal players come into the stream as we were going into Game 4 for ECRC and EM. Adifo, Andrea, Funk, all you guys in there. Good to see all of you guys. How did your match go? I'm guessing you guys won, right?
Got the dub. They got it done.
So, Devin, I'm just trying to set up interviews. We have 3 interviews lined up, by the way. It's going to be fun.
Gosh darn. Okay. Went from 2 series, talking about a third one that happened off stream. Man, if we had the opportunity, we would have tried to pull off a 3-person view It would have been insane, but it could have been at least tried to work with.
Yeah.
At least as far as switching games in and out.
It is unfortunate, but you know what? We can't have it all. Some things are too good to be true.
Yeah, it's tough. Can't have it all, but we worked with what we had. Got 2 games up on stream. I'm sure EC had a fun time playing. I hope the subs from LV were really getting used to playing with their new teammates and developing that chemistry together. Forming themselves into that ECD roster who used to take on the best of the best. Hopefully get to see a bit more out of them in the coming weeks as they continue on with this season. But yeah, we will be hearing from a couple players. We're actually going to be starting with the series that just finished, not the one that you saw before just finished with Kansas City and EM Dallas Burn, but rather you're going to be hearing from the winner side of ECRC El Matador, and have him right now. Gojo, welcome on in. Congrats on the dub. How we feeling?
Mario game.
Wait, did he lag for a sec? Or is that me?
Might have.
You sound a little quiet, Gojo, just so you're aware.
Yeah, I've been having mic issues lately.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, thanks for letting us know. Gojo, that was the best performance from your team throughout this whole season. Is there do you guys wish you had this kind of performance coming in earlier, or are you guys just happy enough to kickstart the second half of your season this strongly?
We're just happy to kickstart it this strongly, I guess.
No, that's
Hey,
all
that's
good.
completely-
One thing I'm curious about is, you guys looked like you were all just working in sync with each other. You're passing to each other. Your rotations were crisp. Were you guys practicing a whole lot together over the past few weeks when you guys had little to no games?
Say that again, sorry.
Were you guys practicing a whole lot over the past few weeks? Because you guys look so slick tonight.
Actually, no, and I'm not sure if the guys have. I was on vacation for a little while.
Where'd you go for vacation?
I went back home to Indiana.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah. I mean, the weather wasn't too bad there, was it?
No, it was pretty good.
There you go.
So in that case, are you a believer of the, don't play for a while buff that you get? Just not playing the game for a little bit. All of a sudden your hands feel fresh, feel like your movement's slick, feel like your air dribbles are solid. Nothing can really go wrong.
Actually, I would say I am a believer in that. Lately, I have kind of set the sticks down more recently. For a while, I was grinding nonstop, but lately, I've been taking at least a few days to even a week and a half breaks. I think it's refreshing.
I actually agree with that a ton. Like, it really feels like you're like resetting your mind and like your hands in a lot of ways. I feel like you can come in with like a fresh perspective. Yeah, and I don't know. There's something like almost rejuvenating about not playing the game for some reason that helps your play. I don't know how to describe it.
Absolutely.
Along that line, I wanted to ask about playing El Matador. They've tended to have your number as of recently, and they also didn't have Kuv this time, but they brought in Huey from EM Dallas Burn. Do you feel like there was a stark difference between like those last 2 matchups that you had against EM, or?
I don't think there is a big difference. Either way, they're a tough team. But I think as long as we play our game, we're passing. I think we can keep up. So, yeah, I don't really see it too much of a difference. They're a good team.
So this looks like your strongest trio, Gojo. You, Toad, and Spanky. Is there going to be any room for Utopia to get some games in with you guys for the rest of the season?
We were kind of just discussing that. We're all kind of just shuffling around, and it always ends up being like who's available most of the time. But being Utopia sat this week, we might see him some more next week.
There you go. Any more questions from you, Devitt?
No, I'm good. Gojo, floor's yours. Shout outs to anybody you got, or I'll leave it to you.
I'm gonna keep this one short. Jeez, you guys. Have a good night.
GG, Gojo.
Hey, have a good night, man. GG's.
Well done, man. Good win.
Chat.
Short and
Reports
sweet.
that it was a Chipotle buff as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see Maori in the chat. You found us from the recommendations. Well, welcome on in. So we just played a couple of bangers, both kicking off at the same time. We're just going through the interviews for the matchups right now. So we have one more match coming up after the interviews, so stick around for that. It's going to kick off at midnight Eastern or 9 p.m. Pacific. But we should go into our second interview real quick, David. We're going to be bringing in someone from El Matador this time around. So let's welcome on in Gnostics, aka Indestructible. Gnostics, you guys brought out a strong team to face ECRC, but you couldn't come out with more than 2 points here. Do you guys feel disappointed at that result?
Oh yeah, we feel disappointed. We brought on Huey and we thought we were just gonna run the league, but that's not what happened.
So
you can't just bring in a 7th round pick and just go from there.
Wait, Huey was 7th round? No way.
Go back to your draft, man. You gotta check it.
Oh my god.
Or last round draft.
Oh shit.
No, but go ahead, Maz. I cut you off there.
No, I think, while we were playing, we weren't meshing too well, and what I think is like Luis is definitely just this better player, and I think he wants me to be in certain spots, but me, just because I'm not as good as him, I don't even recognize that potential. And I think it was team chemistry, and I mean, I guess that's really it. And there were a couple of plays that I could have done better mechanically. That, I mean, we would have been like a goal up or something, and we would have had a good chance.
speaking of goals, I mean, you guys really struggled to get a lot of goals in this matchup. You mentioned that chemistry was an issue, but when it came to the execution, did you feel like your finishing was off tonight?
I felt like it, yeah. That may just be me, though.
So let's...
Sometimes I get nervous when I'm on camera, I guess.
Lights too bright.
Yeah.
I think we're all on the same boat. Everyone's talked about this at least once, right? Like, where they say they're playing on stream, like, they feel the nerves and the tension, and it's like, oh, now I'm feeling the weight on my shoulders, so you're not alone in that.
Yeah, like I'm playing Comp 3s right now, and I couldn't be more relaxed. Even with this shot on net, just an easy save.
Exactly. You know, there's no outside consequences for this. There's nobody watching about to give you the judgment of all judgments for one play
Right,
you either
yeah.
make or don't make. I do want to like go back to that point you had about that potential with Luis, because I think there is like a tendency for like a second player on a team to almost like have that expectation that things will kind of like work out, but that that top player just sort of making the plays every time, even if like they're in a little bit of a perilous situation. So it does sometimes cause like that second player to almost like have a little bit of comfort in not being the top guy, but also like there is like room to step up.
Yeah, most definitely. And,
Where
and
is
there's,
yep.
there's
Go
so
ahead.
much room for me to step up.
Where do you think those biggest aspects are? That step up at least.
On defense, there are a lot of rotational things on defense. Like I can remember one play specifically where I was near post and Luis was on the backboard. He had low boost, but I know how much Luis, I know how comfortable he is going off the backboard. But in that situation, just due to circumstantial, things, he was wanting the near post player to go. He wanted me to go. But me, in my mind, just knowing that Luis is so good off the backboard, I was like, oh, he's got this. But that's not what he wanted in that moment. And so I was unable to recognize that.
So, continuing on with the talk of, chemistry and reflecting on what you guys could have done better. I'm just wondering what the mood was like after that result. Was like everyone feeling that disappointment, or were you guys just trying to shake it off and be like, you know what, we lost, but let's move on to the next match and we'll get back to it? Like, what was the mood after the match?
After the game or after the match?
The whole match after Game 4.
I mean, oh my god, this team just owned gold in our game. I mean, I'm ready to step back into the ringer. The vibes are good. I mean, I couldn't be happier that we have Huey. I don't know how the league is set up, meaning how many games we have left, but I mean, now that we have Huey, if we can get a couple more reps in with him, I mean, yeah, it will be amazing.
So we are in week 9 right now. Sorry, Devin. Just want to mention this real quick. We have week 9, so you have 5 more league weeks remaining after this. So 5 more league matches.
Gotcha. Well then, yeah. I mean, we'll definitely be able to show out.
I was actually leading into my next question with Huey now. Do you feel like it's chip season? Like ready to gun for the top? Like in one way, shape, or form, whether it be the cup or the league? Like I know it's a little bit of an uphill battle as far as the league goes, but it seems like something's got to fall, right?
We have such plot armor right now. I mean, the fact we got Huey this late into the season, and the rest of these games matter so much. I mean, it's beautiful divine intervention.
Couldn't agree more. Actually, well said.
So
I'm excited.
very last question. If you had to pick between the league and the cup, which one would you prioritize at this stage? Or would you still gun hard for both?
Well, we're gun ho. Any game, doesn't matter. We want it all.
There you go.
Exactly. Don't matter what's in front of you, just go out and play it.
That's it.
So I was going to say that was going to be the end of it, but Skyline wanted to bring up something. He says in chat, don't forget to mention the moans.
I don't really want to. But in the first game, Skyline, we scored or something, and he moaned, and it just threw me off so hard. I think that's why we lost the series, to be honest.
Oh my
god.
It was so funny.
Dude, that's those moments that can at least get you a little bit of maybe you're in the zone, but at the same time maybe whatever stress you had.
And then he moans. It caught me so off guard. Instantly unlocked.
Oh my gosh. Well, we'll kill it with that one then. Gnostics, Indestructible, floor is yours. Any shout outs you want to give?
Shout out to the team, shout out Huey, and shout out SGL. Always shout out Maz for the hard work he puts in. Thank y'all for commentating.
Of course. Have a good night.
Appreciate it. Have a good night, bro.
Y'all too. Peace.
Peace. All right. We have one more interview. Yes, one more interview. And that is from the KC Cauldron versus EM Dallas Bird matchup. Chat, do you want to guess who's coming in?
Not that hard to guess. You guys got this. I believe. Typo says he knows.
Oh, he knows. I'll just say it. No
He
one else is
knows.
gonna say it, Adifo.
Nobody wants to speak his name. It's like Beetlejuice. If it's said 3 times, it just appears in front of you. Got it!
You got it, and here he is. Pico David, the goal scorer against KC Cauldron in Game 3. You guys lost, but you didn't get swept once again. How are y'all feeling after that match?
Personally, I'm feeling quite good, actually. I'm feeling amazing today, actually. You know, that goal and not getting swept were just... I think those two went hand in hand. They were very nice. It felt great, man. Scoring that goal, getting not swept. The only team not getting swept all season feels amazing, man. Just... wow.
Yeah, and it felt like your game was just like, adapt and overcome to whatever was coming your way. I mean, honestly, to go from 8 points to goal scorer is, no easy feat. I think it's sometimes harder to not hit the ball than to hit the ball sometimes in a game. So, how does that describe like your gameplay, like what you bring to the table, like your mental as you go through this? You're going like, damn, maybe the game 1's not the game. I know I got game 2 and game 3.
Honestly, I have no clue how I went from 8 to a goal, an assist, and a save. I have no clue. I'm gonna be frank with you, man. But if I would have to give a reason, it would probably have to just be me like getting adjusted to how KC Cauldron play. I mean, I will say they do tend to demo and bump a lot, which angered the hell out of me. I'm not even gonna lie, but after a while, I was like, okay, I know they're gonna try to go for demos. I'll see like what I can do, and I just okay, I'll do this, and that, and then just went from there. I just adjust over time, but just get the first game more of a warm up, and then 2, 3, 4, just keep on moving. I think that's my mentality right there.
So, you were starting the first 3 games, and it was you, Anomaly, and Wicca. So you had no Caesar throughout those 3 games. Were you guys unprepared for that, or did you have it in your mind that you're gonna have to play differently without him?
We kind of went into the game like, yo, where's Caesar? We had no status on Caesar, so we were like, okay, I guess we'll rock with this team. We'll see what we can do. And I mean, we tried the first 2 games, but then third, we were like, okay, we're not gonna get swept. Let's just get the win out here, and then let's see if Caesar came back. And funny enough, during game 3, Caesar came back. So, we just tried not to get swept, and it worked out. Even I got my goal, so I think we did have to adjust because of Caesar, but we can still work. We have we have enough chemistry. We just have those like little mistakes that we have to like work on, but just besides that, we did have to adjust, but chemistry is there. We can do it definitely.
So you guys did build up a lot of that chemistry. I would ask about that because you notably lost a team member of yours, Huey. Is that a big loss on your guys' end, or with the limited amount of play that you did get to have with him, does it almost feel like maybe you can just bounce back with the roster you have, don't gotta worry too much about the different combos out there? You can sort of just play with the 4 you have right now that you bring week to week. How's the loss of Huey basically like affecting you guys?
It didn't matter to me. It didn't matter.
Damn.
He lost 3-1. He lost 3-1. We lost 3-1. Same result. He would have been on the same team, still would have probably been 3-1. Hell, it would have been probably worse. In my opinion.
Damn.
I'm gonna be brutal. He is a great player. I will say that. But just on our team, it didn't work. And I don't know what happened, but he just went to the other team. He performed same, and he got the same result as us. So, I don't have much to comment on there. I don't think he was a huge loss, but it's his loss if he wants to go over there. All right.
His loss.
Wait,
Damn.
so it sounds like I was gonna ask if you had no hard feelings, but I'm guessing that's not the case, is it?
Kind of hard feelings because that man has said things that, you know, I'm not gonna say on here, but I've said some things, he said some things to me. I'm not, dude, I don't like that man, all right?
Say less.
I don't like him.
What the?
I think we could talk about that outside of the stream if you really want to air the dirty laundry, but let's.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I mean, listen, we all love some drama from time to time, but I'm not going to put you on the spot. I think if you want to move on, we can move on. All right, let's move on. So, you've only had one win all season, but you guys have not gotten swept. I mean, you guys are eyeing up that second win at the very least, right? Because you're out of the cup now. You really aren't in contention for the league title. What is your team's goal for the rest of the season?
Just keep on moving forward and get the upsets. I mean, I would love to see a few more upsets in the remaining games, but just move on with the game, see what we can do. Just try to have fun and get upsets, hopefully. Yeah, I think that's the main objective right now.
You know, being the disruptor from that angle, you know, I could totally see it. You know, how all these teams they'll see a rival of theirs, you know, be in like a playoff contention spot or, you know, be within grasp of something out there, and all of a sudden they just have like the best game of their lives, just ruin it all for them. So that's your goal, right? Just to clarify, just ruin everybody's hopes and dreams.
Yes,
Nobody's
sir.
happy at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Fair enough. So, I don't have any more questions. Do you have any more questions?
I thought I had one in mind, but I think it's escaping me right now. I think I'll have to pass.
Well, I have one last question for you, Pico David. You know, you've been showing these signs of improvement, and you've been stepping up against, you know, these better opponents. What do you attribute that to?
Literally nothing. Absolutely nothing. I have not played this game at all. I've actually been avoiding this game, matter of fact. I've been avoiding this game. It's just how much it angers me. But, you know, I've been taking a step back. I will say this. In game one, I did have my 3DS open. I had a game on. So I was kind of distracted on that. I was distracted for a little bit, then I just slapped it closed. But then, you know, I was just checking if the screen was okay, but, you know, I was just not focused. Not really focused on the game right now, so. The improvement, I think it's just natural skill, I guess? I don't know. But, yeah. That's just about it.
Also, that break buff, right, Debit?
Exactly. Sometimes you gotta take a little break every now and then. Play
There
a couple
you go.
different games. Where I've seen this dude play Persona and come back and instantly score a hat trick in a game.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
Well, I guess that wraps up our interview. Pico David, thank you for stepping up and chatting with us. The floor is all yours. Go ahead, say what you want to say, and give your shout outs.
Shout out to my team. Y'all played really great. Shout out to Anna for the hat trick. Insane. Shout out to Caesar, Wicca, all of them guys. Shout out to Casey Cauldron. They played amazing. And they kept me on my toes. And just shout out to everyone tuning in onto the stream. It was enjoyable today.
Hell yeah. Good to have you here as well. Good job on getting that goal against the good Casey Cauldron side. Enjoy that. You'll keep getting better. You'll keep going on the up, bro. Keep your head up.
Thank you.
GG's.
GG's, dude. Have a good night.
All right, with that interview done, we're going to dive right into the schedule to catch up on all the action. Debit. Zero game fives. But we've had a good number of 3-1s here, and they all could have gone to game 5 were it not for very close game 4s.
Yeah, those game 4s are just the trickiest part of it all. Sometimes you expect these teams just to get the slight amount of edge, maybe they'll put them over and get them into that Game 5 territory. You know, we saw with Steel Army earlier, maybe they're going to bring it to 5 against the Rebellion. You even saw, like, this Los Cinco Doce team that were on, the role they were on. We kind of thought that could even potentially go to, a further game set than just 3-0. So that was a little tough to see there as well. But, honestly, this EM Dallas Burn team, they got the one win. I know it was with, Funch in the lineup for KC, but bringing Caesar back onto the field, you really thought there was going to be, like, that moment where you could have seen Game 5 just wants to elude us this time around.
Yeah, so far it's been tough to get that Game 5 out. To be fair, though, Fatality stepped up big time. And we've been talking about him hitting a stumbling block and, just trying to get back to his feet. Just like ECRC, he got back to his feet as well. And KC Cauldron look really good when they field Fatality, Smitty, and Serrano all together.
Yeah, looking really good. And honestly, like, even though we've, talked about, like, Funch not being on as much as the winning side, he's still critical to that team because all those players are going to need, like, those workarounds to, like, play with him on any given day. Because Cauldron are known to, like, throw out, like, you really don't know what roster you're going to get week to week. So it's critical that he's going to get these games anyway. But to get their strongest 3 out after a couple of those results and the way that they played to get that, yeah. Fatality, much needed boost for him. Serrano, good to have him back on the field in that manner. Smitty, getting all the jobs done as well. If you're a KC Cauldron fan or a player of that, you really cannot complain about this week at all. Even if you did give up that goal, assist, and save and win to Pico David, it was worth it all.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you talk about the score lines. None of them were like particularly close games in terms of the results. Game 1, 2-0. Game 2, 4-0 to KC Cauldron. Game 3, 5-2 to EM Dallas Burn. And then Game 4, 5-3 to KC Cauldron. But when you talk about that Game 4, it was really even between these two sides. That Fatality stepped up and the rest is history.
Great players make the best of those opportunities to clinch it out, get the job done, not carried over into any more, I guess, unnecessary games, you can call them.
Yep, that's right. Form is temporary, class is permanent, and we definitely saw that with Fatality and KC Cauldron. Meanwhile, in the championship, we had EC Eternal versus Los Verdes played out off stream. Trying to get the results and all. One thing I did notice is, EC Eternal getting that sweep again, but Los Verdes had a couple of close games. One of them was 2-0 to EC Eternal, and the other, was 2-1 to EC Eternal. So Los Verdes are getting there too, but what else do they need to finally get that game win?
We've looked at this team a lot of weeks to these sides, whether it be your Rebellions, your ECDs, your ECEs. But I think they should just kind of go along the way that we've seen. Like, we've given them the comparison to, the past ECD. It's unfortunately going to be like that grind where you just sort of play through a lot of these things, especially now that they brought in 2 new faces. They're going to have to, develop that chemistry together, get used to playing against these other teams that played, with each other for a long while. That, unfortunately, I feel like not only like the biggest enemy of them all, but also their biggest advantage that could help them down the line, unfortunately, is the amount of time that it's going to take to get up to that level. But also progress is not linear, so I'm not going to hard call like the time that it takes to, get them back up to an improved level where things look a lot more competitive. But at least with this Emerald City Eternal or matchup that they just had, it looks like things are at least going on the right path, especially with those couple close games.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the Difo did tell us the score lines here. 6-1, 2-1, 6-0. That game too, man. Los Verdes got so close. They even had the lead there according to a Difo. Well, at least they're making progress. At least they're being more competitive, right?
Yeah, and like that's like the next step. Like you'll have some leads every now and then, but like the good teams find a way to, face the adversity, get the comeback, and then finish out the game. Whether they're down or up, and they gotta take it from there. We've seen a lot of lower teams go up against high teams before, but they just can't get that result because they'll start out like super hot for some reason, and then all of a sudden they just crawl into their shell, and the result ends up not going their way because of a couple of mistakes or errors. So now for Los Verdes, it's time to hash those out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And now that we've talked about all these matches that have played out so far, I mean, we could do a quick recap. Steel Army loses to Rebellion 3-1. We've talked about that a little bit earlier in the SGL podcast. Lesico Dose versus Frontera Chrome on Wednesday, a 3-0 sweep. Honestly, shouldn't have been, but Frontera Chrome had a complete performance, and that keeps them at pace at the top. They have the lead for now, as you can see right here, but Timbers Army versus Sounders RC will get scheduled most likely on Sunday. And if Timbers Army beats Sounders RC, they'll be back at the top. KC Cauldron jumping up to third, 27 points, 4 points behind Frontera Chrome, by the way. They're back in the title race, and with ECRC beating El Matador, they're now 1 point behind. And now the gap from first to sixth is 9 points, which is not that massive at this moment because, well, a loss and you're back in contention, as you can see with Cauldron.
Yeah, like we've been used to like saying that, we're used to seeing the Cauldron, be like that top team. They're gonna do it all throughout the year. They've kind of looked down in a lot of ways. They just got a couple results their way, as you had mentioned. All of a sudden, they're literally one win off the top spot. And they've been getting the gritty points as well. Like, Frontera Chrome, they've had a couple of those game fives, but they end up winning them. If they're only a series behind, whenever they're technically down 2, I mean, KC are just grinding out these series no matter what. So, they're looking positive. They just got to keep going up from there. They need to ignore the other results that haven't gone their way. They just need to get back into the form that we're used to seeing them, and I think they'll be fine. And honestly, they look poised for a title push.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What's even more incredible, if you look at the Premier, is 3rd to 5th, all 5-4 records. But KC Cauldron have a big gap on Lesico Dose and El Matador. And that's because I think 2 of their losses were in 5 games. One, I believe, against Timbers Army, and the other against, well, El Matador. So you win those games, they will matter.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All comes down to those, matchups that we see. Like, in the championship, you're used to seeing matchups where you're just like, all right, if this team beats this team, then surely like this team will take care of the rest of their matchup. No, the Premier has just been completely different to the point where we've had just a mixed array of matchups go back and forth with each other. I mean, now KC has the front. Honestly, if you told me this 2 weeks ago that they'd go ahead of Lesico Dose and El Matador, I would have been like, not at this pace.
Right?
Have you seen how they looked? Like, EM were like on the absolute, like, probably hottest trend you could see, and then all of a sudden they got stopped in their tracks, and now they're 1 point ahead of the team they just lost to.
With a 4-5 record, with a losing record too, by the way.
Yep. Yep.
And honestly, if I were them, I'd be disappointed because I just got Huey in, to my team, and I'm thinking, oh my god, I'm gonna be, in a team that's gonna be fighting for the title now potentially. But oh man, that ECRC loss. You look at the team before when their strongest trio was Luis, Gnostics, and Skyline. You're like, it'd be great if they could break into the top 4. But with Huey, they absolutely have to finish in the top 4. And for them to, well, I guess be back at square one now. What are they supposed to do? Along with the Dallas Bird, for that matter. Like, what are those 2 teams supposed to do? Because it feels like we're back at the start of the season now where both those teams were down lower in the table.
Yeah. almost like a little bit of like a shock where we didn't expect to see this team all of a sudden fall back to grace. At least like where they were projected to at the start with new player Gnostics. Skyline gets back into the top lineup, but in a different league. But like to your point about that, I think it also just goes to show that as much as like a talented player like Huey exists out there, you still just need to have that chemistry with your teammates to the point where you're ready to cover anything that goes wrong, but also capitalize on anything that could go right. And that's something that SGL will burn you for. And it might have just hit them this time around. So maybe we just have to wait and see how these lineups shake out week to week. I am not gonna say I'm not a fan of this because I really love like a Huey move to a team like this, but also I've been rambling for a lot, so yeah, no, I don't know. It's tough to call because like I wasn't expecting to see how Matador like rise up the way they did, and now like they're back to this spot. I mean, I know it's only one matchup, but still, like maybe they do end up testing Skyline out or one of these matchups, just to, like bring back the old good times.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I see them rotating as well, like because they still have a bunch of players. They still have Kuv and Skyline on the bench. Surely they'll get minutes too, right? So unless those guys say no, we're not interested in playing, just you guys take care of it, I'm sure they'll be given a chance to play as well. So don't be surprised if EM rotate quite a bit throughout these next few weeks, just to make sure everyone gets some playing time. And
I think that's when they're at their best too. Whenever they kind of just leave the chances of fate to whatever lineup they just throw out.
Yeah.
On any given game.
Absolutely.
They almost are like the have fun meta team.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's what EM Dalsburn have been doing, and they seem to be having a blast despite being in 7th place, only 3 points above Sounders RC, who got their first win over them actually.
About that comfortability, what you can bring.
Yep. And I know we talked a lot about the Dallas teams, but let's talk about ECRC as well. I mean, they stepped it up. They didn't need to rotate. They stuck with their trio, and that worked out to perfection for them, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I was not entirely ready to see this team look as good as they did. But sometimes whenever you just sort of like look at the results, like where you're at currently, and ECRC's probably looking around going, things haven't looked that well. We don't really got pressure on us right now. Just go out and go play the game.
Yeah.
Just have fun with it.
Yeah, and you could see it. Like, they didn't, they weren't forcing anything. It was all natural. Everything just fell into place, didn't it?
Yeah, it kind of looked like what we were used to seeing in, seasons past with ECRC.
Yeah.
Just look comfortable, control, play, like nothing forced, as you had mentioned. Just they're going to chase the ball whenever they do, and then whenever they need boosts, they go out and do whatever.
Right. Frontera Chrome had that kind of performance against the Cinco Doce too, by the way. Everything fell into place. It's just the perfect Rocket League performance, if you think about it.
I couldn't agree more.
And speaking of perfection, I mean, Rebellion versus Steel Army, I felt like that could have been back and forth, but a huge win for the Rebellion as they go back to the top. Steel Army, though, you guys are still in contention with a 2-point gap at second. EC Defiance, though, if they win, they will only be 5 points behind the Rebellion and 2 points behind Steel Army. I mean, you cannot count them out of this title race, can you?
No, you can't, and that's something that we almost alluded to a while back, that it was just a 2-horse race. And we even opened up the possibility of a third team with Azul coming into play. And I'm not completely ruling that one out. But now that ECD is like taking that series against the Rebellion, you kind of blew the usual like scriptwriter schedule and just started like throwing wrenches into everything. Because I mean, we're used to seeing a linear table with the with the championship. Like this team beats this team, like you have a little bit of shakeup maybe in the 5, 6, 4 spots, whatever. But you just wouldn't expect it. And now all of a sudden, EC Defiance gets one good result. Next thing you know, they could be fighting for the title. And I'm just like sort of looking ahead at the schedule right now. Because like Steel Army have got like their tougher matchups like out of the way. But also, like EC Defiance do have one more matchup with Steel Army. So they could make a turnaround where they could end up potentially getting second, depending on how results shake out.
And that'll be at the last week too, no?
It will be. It will be.
Yeah. Now that we can look forward to. But for now, it's EC Defiance versus Axe and Rose. Axe and Rose, the home team this time around. We're going to be kicking that off in 3 minutes. Thank you all for sticking around. Those of you who have been here for a while, really appreciate you guys hanging out with us throughout this Friday night. Devin, if you don't mind, I'm actually going to be sending out another announcement to remind everyone that Axe and Rose versus ECD is going to kick off now. But, Devin, on...
Oh, wait, never mind. I accidentally hit the mute button. Whoops.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I just want to know what your thoughts are on this matchup, because on paper, if we look at both sides, EC Defiance is pretty much the clear favorite. But do you think Axe and Rose can get a game or two off of this team?
I absolutely think they can. I don't know if it's the 2 games. Primarily because of ECD, the way they've been playing lately. Also, the factor that we just recently talked about, where Game 5 seems to be eluding most of these matchups. So, I'm thinking that, at least as far as like a rough estimate, one would think probably a 3-1 to ECD. Axe and Rose, I'm actually a fan of this team because they're like that development squad that just needs like a couple pieces to, just work their way in. Get their magic going, and all of a sudden they look like they can go on a run. That's what I envision out of this team. But somebody just kind of needs to step up and be that like next level player. And I'm not talking like super mechanical, but like they're doing all the small things right. Like that second line, like winger or center, or maybe like third line center does for like a hockey team, where like you expect like your front runners to do that, like to do all the scoring things right. But you need somebody to, at least in the championship, be at a level where you get the 50s right, you get the passes right, you get the team members into sort of like that chemistry where they look for certain spots to go for. Especially whenever you're looking at like these players right now, you would probably expect a player like either Darkshade or Borf to be like that sharpshooter, and maybe like Delight can be that person that can just formulate everything for this team. But I think if there's one person, at least in my personal perspective, I kind of want Canty to be that person for this Axe and Rose side. I want them to facilitate more. I could be very wrong on who the facilitator actually is, but I just want one person to step up more into that role.
Yeah, and for me, it's between Canty and Hamburger Herder. We've seen Hamburger Herder step up and put in some big performances. He's only played 11 games, by the way, and he's at 10 assists, so... let's not count him out. He's had a bunch of good performances. He might be that X factor that the team needs, even though he might not be the most skilled or adept Rocket League player. In my personal opinion, I'd say that's Canty. But Hamburger Herder, I think, is the X factor for this team. If he could step up, I could see this team going into the next level.
100% agreed, but as we had mentioned, they got to go up against an ECD side that is high flying. And, having played against that roster recently, just as far as the cup, don't count out what they can bring to the table, especially when they got Bizbo on the field. One that plays Disruptor really well, can maintain their control within this league. But let's see if they can get that done here in game number 1 as we get kicked off.
Here we go! Cascadian Derby in the championship. Axe and Rose versus EC Defiance.
Man, early shot already going through. ECD not slowing down from their last matchup, it already looks like. They're already getting another pass in. Unfortunately, no cuts this time around. Maybe it can go to Axe and Rose. It's a brilliant double, but nobody's on the other end of it here for Axe and Rose.
And you're seeing Axe and Rose take a more conservative approach. They have one guy going high up. This time, they have AG Delight coming up with a good 50, but no one's able to follow up the loose ball, and that allows Bisbo to take control, bring the ball forward. And now it's Axe and Rose's turn to defend. Well, I say that, but Darkshade gets the ball off a nose, and now it's just a back and forth game.
Yeah, I've been noticing sometimes that like Axe and Rose are kind of putting themselves in a little bit of unfortunate place as far as like defending and like using that defensive positioning to transition back to offense. Ooh, hell, the opportunity going there for Axe and Rose. But for ECD, it's going to be how do you just sort of maintain, you know, control throughout the midfield? Because honestly, if they do that, they're just going to own this series no matter what. And right now, it looks like they're just sort of letting Axe and Rose throw the ball up to them, and they will take care of the rest. Which honestly is a good game plan. I think they should continue to do that.
It absolutely is. And we've seen SGL teams in the past thrive on that by letting the more skillful teams just do whatever they want in the air and then react to what happens when the ball gets on the ground. But you don't want to let them have that much joy up in the air as well, because with a player like Bisbo and Nose, those two have shown their mechs off consistently this season. You don't want to give them a free ride.
Especially for a player like Nose, I feel like if the highlight reel doesn't have like a famous double tap of his, then like, did the week really even count? They're gonna rely on him to get this, but right now Parks has an empty net after one little dribble, and ECD have the opening goal.
Oh my goodness, what a touch! Throwing off Darkshade, who had to rush back. Was that Hamburger Herder? I couldn't tell because they were both wearing green cars, but yeah, Axe and Rose got caught off guard. The third man tried to push up and get that early 50, but just couldn't get there. Open net, Parks taking the lead. But Axe and Rose should not put their heads down. They've had a good game so far.
Yeah, they've had a decent game. They've been holding off the attack from ECD for the most part. Just one little small miscommunication right now. They're putting a lot of pressure here to ECD, but they just can't seem to get that final moment of quality that'll take them over the line. Quite literally the goal line, you know, in this situation. So hopefully that changes, because I at least respect the team that like will just try a bunch of things even if it doesn't quite work, because you know you're gonna eventually like, you know, find yourself to be a little bit more consistent with it.
That was not a bad center attempt, but it was way too close to the goal mouth. Gives Nose a chance to come forward with the ball. Now he's looking for boost. Doesn't get any. Parks coming in to intercept. Parks a goal scorer, by the way. We know we've talked about the mechs that Bisbo and Nose would show, but Parks has shown a good amount of Rocket League ingenuity on his own, like that touch right there. He was not trying to boom the ball away. He wanted to keep it close, and that allowed him to get the open net. And he gets a second right there. No, he doesn't. Hamburger Herder diving across the goal with a huge save to keep this a 1-goal difference.
Man, it started out with such a brilliant play by Nose as well. Getting it to Parks, laying up the back pass. Bisbo maybe could get another. Oh, but it's just off the crossbar. It's a bit too much. Trying to get the soft touch. No go here for ECD on the second. The second goal is eluding them now, but maybe this is the opportunity. Gets it off the backboard. There is a challenge for Parks, but Delight is able to get a 50 out. It will fall to ECD, but we're back to a little bit of back and forth here in the midfield. Axe and Rose, they're going to need to convert on one of these offensive opportunities.
Against this easy to find lineup of Bisbo, Nose, and Parks, I'd say Axe and Rose have done a good job of keeping it 1-0 until the final minute when they could have had the equalizer. But Parks comes up with a big save. But it still could be Axe and Rose's turn to get the equalizer. Nose getting in front of Hamburger Herder.
You see Axe and Rose start to push a little more, and
Oh my
they've
God.
had the opportunity to. Oh, they almost gave up on that one. That ball was over Delight. Thankfully, the post came in hand here for Axe and Rose. Maybe can give a little bit of life to them for a goalie's best friend as they push the ball to the corner. That's a ball for Darkshade, hits off the back wall. Delight goes in. Darkshade pops up again. No follow-up, though. It's too late, and ECD have an out through Parks on no boost.
Oh, this is not looking good for Axe and Rose, but for EC Defiance, this is absolutely perfect. All they need is the ball to touch the ground, and it does. EC Defiance win game 1 1-0. As much as Axon Rose made it difficult, EC Defiance looked pretty strong and comfortable out there.
Yeah, I think comfortable is a good way to put it, because some of those offensive opportunities, they look like they could have put in, even more than one. Especially that back pass that Nose had to Parks, that brilliant defensive posturing by Axon Rose, who had to make 8 saves, by the way. But yeah, they definitely could have ended up slotting more. Unfortunately for them, no go this time. For Axon Rose, I mean, the defense looks solid, but one of these opportunities is going to need to fall into the net.
I think, Axon Rose have done what you talked about. They get the fundamentals right at the first and second phase. It's only in the final third where they've really struggled. This time around, they just kept the ball low way too often and made it too easy for an EC Defiance side that was settled at the back to clear the ball out and kickstart their attacks. I think what would have helped them is if they were able to hit the ball higher up, get it off of the backboard, force them to use their boost to get up in the air, and then get the loose ball afterwards. But, they have a chance to correct their course in this game too.
Yep, that's why, Rocket League series aren't just a, one and done. We got more games to play for. For Axon Rose's side, they're still going to be taking things game by game, seeing where they can improve. As far as the lineups are concerned, I am not seeing any subs for this side for what we're used to be seeing subs from ECD. Maybe not as much from Axon Rose, but I'm used to seeing at least some subs.
Kind of a surprise, but here we go. If I'm Axon Rose, I'd be looking forward to this. You have a chance to build on that game 1, get your first goal, and potentially go for the win. But EC Defiance, you know what? I think they want to stick with what's worked. They haven't really been truly tested. They've had a few tough moments, but they have looked pretty good so far. So maybe they just want to stick with what works.
Potentially. I mean, they're going to have to, do a lot of what they did the first time. And especially through shots like this. Oh my gosh, the pop to himself and the flick on. That's brilliant by Darkshade.
Here we go. We're finally seeing some creativity from Axon Rose. Darkshade not choosing to just boot the ball into the net, getting that nice first touch. EC Defiance rooted in front of the goal, and Darkshade gets a powerful shot off, and Axon Rose take the lead in game 2, 1-0.
Funny enough, they were sort of taken to the point that I was going to want to prescribe to them. They, through a lot of these defensive stances, they've been well to get it off their line, but they're not willing to take the 50 out. At least on that one, Darkshade was like, let me see if I can control this one, get the pop, and that was beautiful. So hopefully they can translate that through the midfield and the rest of the, the final third, because that's the spot that's been eluding them the most.
Can I talk about the cars real quick that these players have been playing with? You see ECD bring out the variety. In game 1, Bisbo was in the, I believe, the Roadhog. And Parks, of course, sticking with the Dominus GT that he has, Nose with the Fennec. But the Axon Rose team is going all in on the Fennec. I mean, they want to have the best possible chance of executing their actions on the field, and there's no better car for that than the Fennec.
Yeah, I think it's been described as, like one of the absolute best cars out there. Octane hitbox, it's got, the actual shape of the car, it's perfect. Every bit of dribbling works. I feel like you can actually get like solid, contact with the bottom if you're mechanical and want to go for a flip reset. Feels like the 50s are incredible, and that's what Axon Rose are going to need. And for Nose, I mean, we've already seen the mechs with this dude once he's on that Fennec. I think it's paying off.
Oh yes, absolutely. And now the ball is staying up in the air, but no one is following this up. Axon Rose choosing to stay back, and this gives Rose a chance to get 3 touches off the backboard. Bisbo in his dominance following up, but Parks chooses to stay back. He couldn't beat Nose though. AGD Delight doing so well to bring the ball out on his own. And now Happen to Herder kicks off the counter, goes on his own, gets a 50 at the near post. Bisbo clearing it out. And EC Defiance having to deal with a couple of tough moments right here, but it's still 1-0, and they are still in it.
I think from one of the first times I've seen that matchup, ECD has actually had a bad double commit. that I saw. It doesn't happen often, but I actually saw it from them. It doesn't really tend to affect them that much because Bizbo on the counterattack gets one off the corner, self-pass, and is able to slot that one into the bottom corner here for ECD.
And this is going to be Axon Rose's downfall. AGD Delight goes back, but he doesn't have much boost. When the ball goes up in the air, Bizbo picked up the mid boost, and he's able to execute his aerial action and get that shot into the far post. And this might be where Axon Rose might just want to hold themselves back.
Oh,
and
no.
Casino goals! Darche! Oh, no! He reacted to the ball getting in front of him. He couldn't get the second dodge to get out the way, and he touches it into the back of the net. Bizbo, the goal scorer in this instance as well, and EC Defiance are up 2-1.
And Rose are going to want that back so bad. I think Bizbo put a little bit of fear into them. I saw some of the, reversing that Axon Rose put on display. They were not comfortable with that aerial that he had off the backboard, and it just caused a lot of bit of distress. Second here for ECD. They look like they're going to be shifting back into control.
With 1 minute 22 seconds remaining, there's still time for Axon Rose to get back, but now EC Defiance has picked up the pace. They're starting to move the ball faster. They're beating Axon Rose to the ball in almost every major occasion. And even though Axon Rose are trying to get their passing plays going, they're just not doing it quickly enough, so EC Defiance are getting back into their defensive shape.
They're able to cover the ground. Bizbo looking for Parks on the end, who I swear every time attacks has like little to no boost, but somehow is not affecting them that much. They're still getting shots on. Bizbo with another high shot. Goes off the crossbar. Looking for a back pass to Nose, who has an opportunity. Gets the 50. Bizbo didn't trust immediately, but recovers and gets the shot for ECD's third. What a play here from Nose.
EC Defiance were down 1-0 for 3 minutes, or about 3 minutes rather. And in about 1 to 2 minutes, they got a 3-1 lead now. And that's what makes them so dangerous. They don't even need to be at their best to get a result. They're looking very comfortable here against Axon Rose now. They're in their element. Axon Rose have tried and done so well for much of this match, but once that pace started to get up, they have no response.
Yeah, the pacing is definitely a problem for them right now. They tend to like the boom back and like get your boost coverage. They love being on the ball, but it's hard for them to, translate that defense to offense and really get themselves in control, as they're not able to send another offensive opportunity at the end. They're gonna go down 2-0 in this series. Just taking back, like, they had the lead early on. They were, controlling the pace of play against ECD. ECD, like, as I mentioned earlier, they were having some double commits that I was not expecting to see out of them. And next thing you know, one thing falls for ECD and Axon Rose just kind of crumble.
It is a shame, isn't it? Because this Axon Rose team was actually working quite well together. And, ECD stuck with this trio in game 2. You thought, oh, there's a chance for Axon Rose. But, Bizbo turned up his game, and he took the whole team to the next level with his hat trick. If EC Defiance choose to rotate for game 3, then Axon Rose is in big trouble. Like, absolutely big trouble. Because they're going to have fresh players coming in, and that will cause Axon Rose a whole lot of problems because they're going to have to readjust now.
It will present a whole lot of problems for them, but and usually I'd be on the train to be like, okay, they brought in subs, at least on ECD's side, but they do this all the time. They're used to playing with each other so often that, if anything, it presents problems for the other team. Like, you should be worried about your game plan then, because all of a sudden you're facing different players. You're like, all right, what do I expect out of this person? And next thing you know, you are playing against Bizbo still, the guy who got 700 points in the last game, and you also got Green Mario and Bird Bird famously, who probably averages 2 demos a game.
Bisbo has switched to the Fenix, so you know what that means. He means business right here. Here we go. Oh my goodness, bad start for Accent Rose already. Green Mario with his own unique car. It looks like a really flat car. I can't tell what it is, but he gets the first goal after 16 seconds. EC Defiance are up 1-0.
And it's just such a good challenge there from Green Mario too. And then as soon as that happened, Axe and Rose were put in a bind. They're just going, oh no, 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 no. Trying to race back. Panic's already set in for Axe and Rose. How do they deal with it from here? Looks like they're at least able to get a couple of final third appearances here for this ball. But it's how do they maintain control? They're at least covering the midfield. That's a good double there from Hamburger Herder. Just need one more, but unfortunately Bird Nana is able to clear the lines.
Bird Nana gets a big 50 as well. That should allow Bisbo to come up and take over. But Bird takes shot off the ceiling, off the backboard. Bisbo does not get a shot on target. He and Green Mario crossed paths. Bisbo just diving in. Green Mario standing still, so maybe Bisbo had a decent shout for a shot, but he just couldn't get it on target. And Axe and Rose get away with it right there.
Yeah, they got away with it because I think Bisbo cut his turn a bit too early. I feel like Green Mario had the angle. But unfortunately, Bisbo at least gets the run back here off the wall. Gets the shot perfectly against Axe and Rose, who are bumping into each other right now. 2-0 lead here for ECD.
Yeah, and at this point, I think ECD has wrapped it up. I'm going to call it early, Devin. Game, set, match. Yes, I know this is very disrespectful to Axe and Rose, but with what I've seen so far, with how fast this trio of Bird Nana, Bisbo, and Green Mario are playing, I think Axe and Rose have just kind of tired out. They've potentially run out of ideas. I wouldn't be surprised if they make it close, if they come back and maybe take us to overtime, but I will say, I see EC Defiance winning right here.
Yeah, I see EC Defiance winning as well. Bird gets a good touch over here. But it's how Axe and Rose sort of deals with it in this situation. Something kind of, like, it has to change on their attack. And they're used to something's going well for them, but as soon as the play breaks down, it just looks like things kind of fall apart for Axe and Rose. If it doesn't go to the way they position their cars, all of a sudden they're just chasing something else. And hopefully they can get a couple of these counterattacks to work. But right now, they're just expecting one thing to go perfectly. But they need to deal with the adversity coming to them right now, or else they're going to be own goalie.
No. I'm sorry, Devin. I have nothing else to say but this.
Oh my god!
Yep. Like, if we had, the I give up from Wario 2, I think I would have played that too if I was on Axe and Rose right now. That's such a heartbreaker.
It is, and I think with this third goal, Axe and Rose may as well just let go, because right now they're getting beat to the ball at almost every occasion. You know, may as well put up the aggression.
Oh, wait.
Look at Darkshade with his proactive play. Axe and Rose get one back. EC Defiance looking a bit messy at the back, but let's give credit to Darkshade. What a nice finish into the middle.
Yeah, it was weird because Bird was all messed up and Green Mario was like, I gotta get this thing out of here, but he put no angle on that. Next thing you know, Bird and Bisbo are just in an awkward spot. Darkshade is just like, give me this ball. And as soon as we talk about them getting on the board, Bird's like, okay, shut up. Let's get a goal back.
Very easy pass, and I say easy despite the mechanical execution, because Bisbo had no resistance, and a good shot by Bird Nana to curve that inside the near post and put it into the back of the net. Just as soon as Axe and Rose get one back, EC Defiance extend the lead back to 3. 4-1, still a lot of time, but EC Defiance looking to add some more goals into this game 3.
Yeah, why not make it a little more comfortable for yourself as you go through? Game 1 was only 1-0, for those that may or may not remember. If you're gonna go into the final 2 minutes of this game, might as well make it easy for yourself.
Oh my
Axe and
God.
Rose, they had the opportunity. Oh no, all of ECD was back, and that was a wide open net. That should have been in.
That should have been 4-2. Oh, that stings. That stings for Axe and Rose. EC Defiance get away with it. I think they're just having fun out there. They're just vibing. They're not caring too much if they make even the littlest of mistakes or the biggest of them all. They're just having fun. Hex and Rose, man, that's gotta hurt.
And maybe, oh my gosh. Crossbar challenge? Wait, can Hamburger Herder catch up to this? Get
Does
around
he
the
get
other
it
side? Oh, what an adjustment.
Zero boost as well throughout this whole spell. Dodges a demo and then has to rush all the way up, pinches it past the post. 2-4 with 1 minute 22 seconds to go. But I'm still going to maintain my previous opinion because I think EC Defiance can go up another gear.
It's almost like a playing with their food type thing for ECD. Not sure it's how to aspire to that, but you know, also this goal probably shouldn't have gone in at the same time.
What a shame. Axe and Rose, they always get a chance to come back in this game 3, and then they just concede again. I did call it at 3 minutes 47 seconds. It looks like it's dead certain now. Game, set, match for sure for EC Defiance. They are very likely to get a sweep right here, and they're gonna keep up with the top 2. 2 points behind Steel Army, and 4 points behind. Sorry, 2 points behind. Yeah, 2 points behind Steel Army, 4 points behind the Rebellion.
Yep, indeed. That's critical for them. Like maybe if something miracle happens here in this past 40 seconds, never mind. I thought I could carry this with some way, but you know, Green Mario has just been such a disruptor here in the midfield. It's just become like cutting through, cake with like any knife. Like honestly, it's just that easy for Green Mario to turn around and get a shot or an opportunity here for ECD.
I mean, isn't that Green Mario's hat trick as well, by the way?
And indeed is.
There you go.
First appearance, hat trick in the game.
At this point, I think they just want to stat pad and get themselves up the top 5s and, show that no matter who is in, EC Defiance will be at their very best. Now they're getting the demos out there, absolutely bullying their Cascadia rivals. Hate to see it if you're rooting for Axe and Rose for the Portland Timbers boys. But EC Defiance going out with a bang, and they sweep Axe and Rose to keep up with Steel Army and the Rebellion.
Really good result here for EC Defiance, as you mentioned. Already taking out the Rebellion in one of the series. And then to get this win, 2 points within Steel Army, 4 points within the Rebellion. I mean, nothing's stopping this team from, I'm gonna be honest, I had this team, I think 5th at one point on power rankings. And just to see this team turn around to the spot that they're in, it's honestly really impressive to see, and I'm happy to see them, climb up this way.
Yeah, seriously, and, we've talked about how much they've progressed throughout these seasons. This team has mostly stuck around altogether. I think only a couple of other players have come in, come and gone. Or was it just Bismo? No, Bismo's the only one who's come in. Yeah, this season. But even in past seasons, there hasn't been much change, has there?
No, it's been pretty much that same roster the entire time. They've always been rotating with each other, but, it's been, Bird, Nose, Green Mario.
Parks?
Parks, yes. I feel like I'm forgetting one, or is it just those 4?
Well, they used to have Dervis, but he stopped playing as often more recently.
That's right. But yeah, no, this team has been mostly consistent. And then they add a player like Bisbo, who used to play with one of the upper teams at one point. It seems like he's fitting in really well for this ECD squad. Couldn't be happier to have him there. And, now they're title contenders.
Oh yeah, you cannot count them out anymore. Absolutely. They are looking really strong. And Debit, if I were Steel Army, I'd be worried.
Yeah, it's concerning to see a team that you're, I guess, used to seeing week in and week out. You've gotten the job done against them so many times, and all of a sudden they just beat out a team that you've struggled to beat, and then you're going, oh my gosh. What does that mean for us?
Yep.
Like, it's easily to use like that transitive property. Like, if they could beat them, they can beat us. And honestly, that is true for the most part for the championship. So you definitely got to watch your back. And I mean, happened in our last match too. We actually had to watch our back.
Oh, absolutely.
For demos every time.
Oh yeah. From a 2-horse race to a 3-horse race, and we only say this because ECD had to beat the Rebellion because they were looking like just running away with the title. That really opened everything up, didn't it?
Yep, it's really open because we are seeing like a couple of those teams start to break out into those other matchups. Like, to be honest, like if FSD Azul ended up taking that 5th game against Steel Army, that could have been similar to, I mean, not in like total results, but like you remember when like EM Big Dogs like beat Steel Army in 5 last season? Like that opened up the table briefly before it like reshuffled back around. But we could have been talking about Azul potentially being like a title challenger too, if things went their way a bit.
Yeah. It's a good thing you bring up Azul because those teams at the bottom, at the lower end of the table are stepping up. They're getting up there too. Azul stepping up despite, some of the issues they've had before trying to get Divine Waffle settled in. They also brought a new player in Hab, which is great to see. And we also have EC Eternal stepping up and looking very good overall. So, they're all stepping up. And then you have Accent Rose. They just look better and better. Like, the fundamentals are there. They just need the execution, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the next part. Because, we talk about it a lot. Like, these teams, they develop, they get better. We want them to get that first game win. You go through the motions. You play the offense. You won't get the goal. You go back on defense. You get your boost. You cover. You play well. Now it's just, where are those finer details? Oh, like, is this the best spot to take the 50? Do I focus to the outside? Do I bang it off the corner? Do I, where's this person position? How do I get it around this person? How do I stall a little bit of time for my teammates to get boost while they're coming back and I have full boost and the ball is coming right toward me right now? It's those little details that, as you progress through the game, you'll refine, because the other stuff will just sort of come naturally. The fundamentals are there. Now it's just time to, focus in on those smaller details.
Yep, absolutely. And we could talk more about that later on, because for now we have our first interview lined up. After this match, let's welcome on in Bisbo of EC Defiance. Bisbo, you were here commentating a cup match last week between EC Eternal and Los Verdes, and now you're here being interviewed by us. An incredible win for your team, very convincing, pretty much easy as well in most of the match. How are y'all feeling after that?
Oh man, pretty good. Yeah, feeling good. It was first an honor to commentate last week, but yeah, it feels good. I wouldn't say it was easy necessarily, especially game 2. We were really kind of a little struggling to get anything going, and we kind of like peeled back the onion, the layers of that match, and realized we weren't applying enough pressure. So then once we started applying it, it started going a little better, but definitely not an easy set of games.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I mean, I'm not trying to discredit Accent Rose here. They gave you guys the test. I just I said that in reference to the fact that once you guys went up another gear, they couldn't keep up with you. So what was the catalyst at the end for you guys to go up to that next level?
Yeah, I think game 1 we started out really strong and scored a lot of goals. I think fairly sound. Or no, wait, game 1 we didn't. We had a lot of chances and we didn't score that many goals.
Yep.
And I think we kind of got a little shaken by that, a little nervous. And then game 2 was about halfway through, and it was like maybe 1-0, or I can't remember, but it was very close. And we all kind of just agreed, like, we're given too much space. Our second man is nowhere to be seen. Let's just up the tempo, tighten the rotations, and that really seemed to work. that was kind of like from then on we just were going heavy pressure, heavy speed in it, and I think that's where we are our best. We're not like necessarily the cleanest, but with shots and stuff, or at least I am not, but we can apply good pressure with good rotations and demos also from Bird, who has a ton of demos. He's like Emperor Palpatine, so many demos.
Glad you compared him to that, because dude, like, you don't watch your back for 1 second, next thing you know, like, you are third man, like, about to sort of help your team out, maybe come in at the last moment. Next thing you know, Bird is literally just demoing you. And you're like,
it's
dude,
crazy.
where'd he come from?
If you looked at his stats, it's like, I think the next closest on our team is like maybe 15 or 20. He has like 50 something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Don't understand how he does it, honestly.
He plays that critical role, because like if it wasn't like pressure in one way, I was actually gonna like point out this. A lot of times you guys put on pressure, Parks just cut up without even getting up like any boost whatsoever. He was just laying on pressure just for you guys to like recover, get your boost, come in for the shots. How critical was Parks in those first 2 games for you guys?
Oh man, yeah, huge. There was one defensive sequence for us that he it was in like our back right corner, and Nose had cleared it a little, but then they were right there and stuffed it back in the corner, and then I was kind of awkward and like low boost, and Parks just like swooped in out of nowhere and just cooked the entire lobby, and I think he got a goal out of that, or set up one. He's clutch, man. Yeah, he has very sharp aggressive mindset for Rocket League, I think.
Yeah, you're gonna need it for like, especially like these other sides. It's worked out for you guys like really good so far, because like as we had mentioned like on the broadcast, top 3 are now only separated by 1 series. These are the type of results you guys are gonna need to pull out. Yeah, exactly. It's I'm actually kind of glad right now, not just because well, yes and no. That's where being on a team is not as fun, because you're like, oh crap, the results like super matter now.
Yeah,
but
I think Bird said we might be 1 point potentially off of you guys. I don't know if that's true, but I think it's close.
2
points. Okay, there we go.
But we also conveniently play in the last week of the season, so if all else holds right now.
So, Bispo, with how good your trios look, you pretty much put anyone on that field, and you guys are looking very slick. If a tough moment arrives, which trio would you say is your strongest that you'd go with?
That's a good question. Man, I don't know. Every trio is kind of like got a pretty good kind of like place on the squad. I feel like Mario has an underrated dribble game that just tears teams up consistently, like in ranked play and in the league. He just gets these like crazy goals where he just kind of bullies everyone. Bird's got some aggro play that's really fun to play with, and great aerials. Nose has really good game sense. Parks has that aggression and the good shot. I suck, so probably any 4 of them.
Don't sell yourself short, Bispo.
He sounds just like me in some spots, so I get it. It's like, yeah, let the teammates just just sort of do their thing, and you're like, yeah, I'll cover you guys. You guys got the aggression.
Yeah.
I'll just make sure things don't get too bad for us over on the other end.
I've seen that. I've seen how you play that way, Devitt. I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there is a best team, and we're experimenting with some more set rotations, which is why you saw me, Parks, and Nose doing the first 2 games. So the next series, I forget who it is, but we're trying to do like a starter squad that plays potentially 3 games in a row. So that's good. We're experimenting.
Interesting. That feels like a first ever for that team.
Yeah, it does feel that way. Yeah.
Well, there you go. I mean, given how much you guys have improved throughout this season, what's your end goal at this point? Are you guys just going to be happy enough to potentially usurp one of Steel Army or the Rebellion into the top 2? Or are you looking to win a trophy this season?
Oh man, we want the trophy. I don't know though. It's the points are distant. I don't think we get to play Rebellion again. So even if we were somehow able to pull it off on Steel Army, we need other teams to beat Rebellion, which is a tall order. We got lucky a little bit with Shorts being out on our win against them, but hopefully someone else can do it and make things even more interesting. But yeah, we want that. We want the title. We do.
There you
It's
go.
completely out of reach. Azul do play Rebellion again. We've seen how they've improved recently too.
True.
Saying anything can happen.
Any more questions from you, Devitt?
Actually, not on my end. I think I'm good to go.
Yeah, I'm good as well. Bisbo, GG's, great win for you guys. The floor is now yours. Say whatever you want to say. Give your shout outs. Go ahead.
GG's. Thank you. Thanks for the interview. Thanks for commentating and streaming. Big night for Seattle. I believe every Seattle team won tonight that played, which is pretty
right.
huge.
It is indeed.
We like that. GG's to Portland. They're a nice group, and I have a brother-in-law there, so I can't ever say mean things about Portland. But yeah, GG's everybody. Thanks for having us. GG's to my team. Thank you to ECD. I'm the youngling on the team, the Padawan, if you will, and they've brought me along, and I really enjoy playing with them. So thank you guys.
Heck
Of
yeah,
course,
that's what we like to do.
GG's.
GG's. Have a good night.
See ya.
Our stream is not done yet. We have one more interview coming up, but before we get that started, I mean, you heard Bisbo. He sounds really upbeat right now, and I guess the team spirit is high up in the air right now. Those guys are really up for this second half of the season, aren't they?
Exactly. Actually, I was potentially gonna have a question of, like, what's it been like playing with that team, but I feel like that got answered in every question
Oh yeah.
that we asked already, so I feel like it was just gonna be redundant. Seems like the vibes are just at an all-time high. Can't complain at all when playing with those guys, especially like going into a squad that like never really made any roster moves, and you get to feel that comfortable and that high-spirited going into a team halfway through this season. He just fits right in. Perfect. It's a great fit.
Exactly. And you know what? I think they made the right choice. Not necessarily looking to add more players in. I think they have enough players and they are ready for the rest of the season at this point.
Agreed.
We do have our second interview lined up right now. Yes, we have someone from Axe and Rose willing to talk about that match. Let's welcome on in EGD Delight, the captain of Axe and Rose SC. A terrible loss. A sweep is not a good way to go out, but you guys are still getting better. You guys keep improving. Let's talk about, those positives. How are you guys trying to keep up? How are you guys constantly improving your game?
That's a really good question. I think the most frustrating thing about a lot of this season's league play is there's a lot of matches that are winnable for us. Just for whatever reason, if we get a little bit behind in the count or go down a game, I don't know if it's nerves or desperation or fatigue, but it seems like as the matches progress, the mistakes compound on each other. And yeah, it's pretty frustrating. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about, your individual performances. I mean, you guys have taken a next man up approach, basically. Whoever's available, they come in, they step up the game, and they perform. And this time, It was you, Hamburger Herder, and Darkshade. This was probably like your main trio from last season, and you guys showed it as well with how well you were progressing the ball forward. Did that familiarity help you, at least in the first 2 games?
It did to an extent. We all know kind of what each other are trying to do, whether or not the execution happens is the next step of it. But yeah, and you know, everybody has their individual proclivities. You know, some people linger up high, some people go for demos, some people, you know, stay back and play it safe. So there is familiarity, and we could at least, you know, count on predicting what each other were going to do. Just unfortunately, like you saw, game 1 was really tight. It was one miscommunication. I think it was Herder. I said I was going for a bump in net. Herder thought I was rotating out, so he pushed up, and that's how that goal got scored on us. And that was the one mistake in game 1. But then, like I said earlier, they just compounded in games 2 and game 3. So the familiarity is there, but the execution needs to happen next.
Yeah, and that's something that we like brought up a lot, because like there's a lot of like good fundamentals to your game that keeps happening, but it's just like that final third execution. Did you guys throw in a lot of like decent balls to like either go up for, continue the play, but it's just like, where do we get that next step? Is it within like the pass itself, maybe the shot, maybe taking a 50 instead in some areas? Like,
Yeah,
you mentioned
really.
a lot that like things that can go for it, bro. Like, is there like a couple specifics that you can like sort of pinpoint out?
So we were doing warm-ups for about an hour or so before going into this, and we were having some excellent team plays and passes, and like 1, 2, 3 passes that ended up in goals. Everyone was getting involved. That was in ranked, and then we get into this, and all of a sudden, none of our passes are connecting. And I don't know if that's just because I know ECD is a really physical, in-your-face team, and maybe they just weren't giving us the space to do that. Whereas ranked, you know, maybe you're playing against not a team, it's a bunch of randos. So yeah, like the ideas are there. I just think under the bright lights of Supporters Gaming League, one's fortitude can kind of falter a little bit here and there.
There definitely is an aspect to it with SGL, and like I've talked about it with like Luis before, same like with Maz. There is a level of playing against teams that have a lot of chemistry with each other that is just insanely different from the way a ranked plays. Like ranked, you're like, okay, yeah, like this person's out of position, these passes are just going like the way you want. Next thing you know, like if you're just not facing the right way, Bird Nana is demoing you in SGL instead. So there is like a lot like to factor in as far as like what SGL goes. That's where at least like if you just continue to play this one out like in ranked or SGL, I think probably like your next step, like I mean this is just like unsolicited advice, so to like take it or leave it, whatever, but like you notice a lot of the stuff that happens with these teams. I think now like you guys have what it takes like to do on offense, but maybe a couple of those like defensive intercepts and like understanding your opponent that way, like that may be like your next jumping step.
Absolutely, and there are some opponents that at least I personally am more familiar with than others, where I know I'm trying to think of one in particular. But you know, there's people that are just good aerially. So I see somebody go up, just go up and get in their face. Like it doesn't matter if I have a play on the ball. If they just see me up, they have to do something. You know, stuff like that. So no, 100%. And the thing, the SGL and the chemistry and the bright lights, and there's an added element of it because we're playing Seattle and it's a rivalry thing. And then there's another added thing because when I saw that you were in the commentary, Debit, I really wanted a result. Because I have not forgotten what you said on a podcast a few weeks ago, and I was very ready to tell you that I put fresh batteries in my deservo-meter to tell you that you deserve this win. But unfortunately, my epic dunk could not come true this week.
Oh man, deserve to win-o-meter can either be like an incredible thing or just like a heartbreaker. So we may just have to add a couple batteries in to the next round and just have to like get the next result at this point. Because like you're a team like that I see a lot of like what ECD was going through like a couple seasons ago. Like we talk about that comparison with Close Verdes a lot. But like you guys are just like on a closer level. It's just like that next grade of execution. You're just a bit farther than they are at this point. So at this point, like it is like a understand your opponent. You're gonna make the adjustments there. I trust you guys to actually get those adjustments done, and then like translate that into like how you're gonna adapt and overcome and transition easily from like, defense to offense. So, yep, glad to see that like at least the motivation aspect was there. Just really unfortunate it didn't happen this time around, but you know, not the last opportunity at least.
I expected a game, maybe two. I really, really, really did. So disappointing, but so it goes.
Well, you also got to consider that this is your team's second season ever, your third season overall, personally, you know, and Canty's second season ever, alongside Dark Shade and Hamburger Herder. You know, you guys are still relatively new to SGL overall. You're playing against a bunch of seasoned veterans, you know, so if you guys just keep putting the time in, just like every other team that has, you guys will get there. You guys will get better, you know. So I would say don't, you know, keep your chin up. You'll be there. I mean, Devin can attest to this as well. He and Steel Army were down at the bottom, and it took them a couple of seasons before they started to really get better, and now here they are.
Definitely. Oh, definitely. No, my SGL days are long from over. We're gonna rise up here. I'm secretly courting Piglet to try to get him to drop down and join us. Maybe next season.
Okay.
That could be fun. But anyway, Piglet, I hope you're listening. I'm peer pressuring you.
I love that. I'd love to play against Piglet. I don't think I have since like the like early days of Timber's Army, so I'm definitely down for that.
Piglet and I play twos in relative frequency, and we've got some chemistry. He's a great teammate.
Oh, he absolutely is. Absolutely. Well, I don't know if you have any other questions, Devin, because I'm done.
Neither. I think we're good to go.
All right. Well, Delight, great to have you on here to talk about the recent match. It's not easy doing this, but I really, you know, respect you and appreciate you for doing this. It's really tough. So props to you for stepping up and coming up to the interview booth to talk about how these matches go. But now it's your turn to just have the floor and say whatever you want to say. So go ahead, give your shout outs. Go ahead.
Sorry if I'm making it weird, but yesterday ICE shot 2 people here in Portland.
Yep.
And that shit is scary, and that shit shouldn't be happening in America in 2026. I'm pretty sure most people in here are probably on the same side, and if you can do something, if you can call a representative, if you can take to the streets, please do so. Our community's hurting, and more communities will be hurting soon if stuff doesn't change.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
And
that's all I got.
No, that's perfectly fine. And I will say for sure, most of us in this community, I keyword most because unfortunately it's not all. I wish it was, but most of us are definitely on your side.
Absolutely. Yeah. I most soccer fans are. But you know how it goes.
Yeah.
Yep. We know how it goes. Not everywhere, but we know you guys are hurting right now. Bunch of communities that could be affected by this in the future that you just don't want to see. got to make sure that it doesn't happen to any others. I'm glad you spoke up about it. Appreciate you doing that.
And
Absolutely. Thank you.
have a good night. And yeah, stay safe out there too, because
Yes, please.
it's rough.
Will do. Thank you guys so much. Thank you everyone who joined the stream, joined the chat. Everyone have a wonderful night.
You too. Take care.
You as well. Peace.
Night.
You know, I'm glad Delight brought that up, because of all the shit that's happening. We should not stay silent about it. At the end of the day, the world in front of us is still playing out as is, and even though some people would like to have an escape, the world is still playing, you know, and going forward. It doesn't, you can't escape planet Earth, you know? So, gotta bring up reality. And to all of you Americans down there, you know, the bad times won't stay forever. There will come a time when you guys will bounce back and the good times will come back. May not be soon, but hopefully you guys can, you know, get past all of this. And I say this very vaguely. My point is, I know you guys will definitely take action. I'm not going to tell you guys what to do. You guys know what you need to do. So you guys will get past this.
Appreciate that, man. Really do.
But it's almost 1 a.m. here for us. Let's try to end the stream real quick. Just to quickly highlight, we have 6 matches played out. We had an insane night tonight, by the way. 4 matches played out, 3 on stream. Absolute insanity.
3 matches played out. We got 2 with overlays on the red zone. SGL somehow got that going. Got fabricated drama in the Dallas scene because of this. A Cascadia Derby in the championship played out. Really good matchups played out as well. Can't complain there. And we only got 1 more to go. Sounders RC and Timbers Army. Hopefully that'll be scheduled here real soon, and we'll be able to showcase it to you guys.
Yes.
But yeah, as far as this stream goes, just wait on that last one to go, and appreciate y'all sticking around.
Yes, and make sure to come on in for Sounders RC versus Timbers Army. This is most likely going to be scheduled on Sunday. Time yet to be decided right now, but I know for sure it's going to happen on Sunday. Come join us then for the final match of Week 9. But for now, enjoy your nights. Hopefully you all can have a good weekend. We will see you guys on Sunday. Have a good night, and peace.
Peace.